Hi everyone, how's it going? I've looked worse. I have definitely looked worse. Um, yeah, so it's what, 9:22, 9:23? It's coming up to 9:30 in Brighton, and this is the view that I'm looking at today. Slight fog. The winds are probably because it's very, very still right now. I don't necessarily know what the waves will be doing because it's perfectly still, but it's still a full moon. The waters might be calm though. But yeah, it's almost 9:30. Just doing a daily rant before I get on with these readings. Um, Yesterday was really beautiful. What I spent time doing was okay, so I ordered KFC, so that's a minus already because like I really didn't need it. But seeing as I was where I call it there, seeing as I'm about to cook today, and I wanted to give my chicken a chance to settle before I cook it. So I chose to buy KFC rather than cooking the chicken that I marinated earlier on in the day. So that's a minus, but I spent like about an hour just gazing at the stars and eating my chicken. And at first, I had some music on. I had on Vincent by Don McLean, which is really, really sad, but it helps to listen to a sad song sometimes. And then I listened to Coldplay because, yeah, Coldplay's yellow. But then I just went silent, or almost silent. I told the stars my troubles. I'm not really talking to them, I'm talking to the Higgs boson inside every single created thing. That's what spirit is called, right? So I was talking to the Higgs boson in every living thing, and I made out like I was talking to the stars. And I told them about how I was feeling. I even shed a few tears. It's hard to be strong all the time. And it's hard to when you go through being a target, it's hard to be strong all the time. I cry sometimes. It used to be something that I was ashamed to admit because gang stalking, again, they weaponize everything you do. And when you feel vulnerable to the people that are abusing or torturing you, they take their fear, they take their shame out of, I don't know, just being themselves, and then they pass it on to you. So you end up feeling ashamed to cry in front of them or ashamed to be vulnerable in front of them. And then it comes to a point where you realize it really doesn't matter, and sitting up there looking at those stars, having a cry, showing any type of emotion. I try so hard not to do it because I don't want the gang stalkers winning. And yet every single time I express my emotions, I always feel better. So it's like every time I lose to the gang stalkers, every time I show vulnerability or have to move on somewhere new, or every time I lose to them, I always feel better. And even when I was paralyzed well, I wasn't paralyzed, I was never paralyzed, but even when I was kind of immobilized by the torture and I was crying and I was in pain and I was crawling everywhere, it just made me feel proud of myself because it made me feel like if I'm tough enough to withstand that, then I'm tough enough to basically withstand anything. It just made me feel strong. Like being in a situation where I lose against the gang stalkers only to find out that not only can I handle it, but I find a way to thrive through it. It makes me feel good. I'm always trying to Be strong, don't cry, don't get angry, and yet every single time I lose, I always come back to myself. Every time. It's not going to be the same for every TI. It's not going to be the same for every person. We're all unique human beings. We're all living, you know, we're all doing our thing. But for me, as much as I hate showing vulnerability, it just seems like it takes being surrounded by the things that I hate to really bring me back to myself. It's like I never really know who I am until I'm surrounded by the things that I hate. And when I am, it was only when I'm surrounded by the things that I hate that I'm not so hard on myself, and that I kind of, it's weird. It's like, it's only when you're surrounded by the things that you hate that, I mean, for some of us anyway, not all of us, but it's only when you're surrounded by the things that you hate and you're being emotionally battered that you kind of, again, you're reduced back to factory settings. And who you are, the potential of who you are, the seed of who you are is revealed. You never realize what kind of fruit you really are until you're brought back to seed form. And it's like, I actually like myself when all the other extraneous crap is taken away. When I'm being abused and the real me is revealed in that, I don't know if other people like me or not, but I'm starting to like myself. Actually, I'll tell a lie, I'm not starting. I fucking like myself, I'm sorry, I do. Like, I used to hate myself so much, but now just losing, the act of losing the one thing I never wanted to do was the one thing that helped me like myself. And honor myself and respect myself. Being surrounded by things that I hated all the time just made me better. So it's no surprise that after crying last night, I woke up today fucking glowing and shit. And it's not even because of the oil, it's just like internally glowing. Like, yeah. It's hard though, because I have to push past that. I need to be seen a strong barrier. Like, I have to push past it. And then I have to kind of like, you know, I've got to push past that barrier. And then I've got to think to myself, okay, you don't like these people. You don't want them to win. Let them win. When they win, they lose. Let them win. And it's true. When they win, they lose. It's a lot. It's just pushing past that little barrier, though. That's all it is. Just pushing past that little barrier. Pushing past that little barrier. Letting yourself lose. Just not trying to be something. Just letting it happen. It's really beautiful. Look at this. It's nice to wake up to this. Open the blinds and then wake up to this. I don't get this kind of view in my fucking bedroom. I thought. And it helps me work, so. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's more than okay. I don't know where this life is going to take me. I don't think I'm necessarily looking forward to it either, but I think I'm looking forward to how I'm going to handle it. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta do these dailies. So I love you, my fellow TIs. Take care. Bye bye.